Hello, we are group 40, and our debate topic is cities are not becoming better places to live due to information technology.
Rapid urban growth of the past decades has led to significant challenges, including congestion, sprawl and environmental degradation, limited jobs and housing, public safety, and difficulty managing increasingly complex urban environments. The concept of smart cities has emerged and is beginning to be implemented to address some of these issues and improve residents' quality of life through information technology. Although there is no universal definition, smart cities are generally defined as, quote, urban areas that integrate digital technology and data-driven solutions to enhance performance, improve well-being, and reduce resource consumption, end quote. In the United States, smart city technology is most active in areas such as payments and finance, customer service and public engagement, energy, water and wastewater, and telecommunications. While aiming to improve urban life, the increased implementation of information technology has had the opposite effect. Increased data collection has reduced privacy and autonomy. Cities are now increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks and have greater environmental impacts that are pushed onto disadvantaged regions, and jobs are replaced by automation. The replacement of physical systems with digital systems has left behind disadvantaged populations, increased screen time, and degraded mental and physical health, and resulted in a worse, fragmented user experience. Altogether, cities are not becoming better places to live due to information technology.
Smart cities rely on constant data collection through cameras, sensors, and facial recognition systems. These technologies promise efficiency and safety, but they depend on continuous monitoring of public life. The proposed Sidewalk Labs project in Toronto raised concerns about who would own and control the vast amounts of urban data collected, and whether a private tech company should influence how city data is governed. Living in a city should not automatically mean agreeing to constant surveillance. The issue isn't just collecting data, it's how data is used and who it harms. Algorithmic policing tools disproportionately impact marginalized communities, and facial recognition systems demonstrate higher error rates for women and people of color. At the same time, the 2025 Verizon Data Breach Investigations Report analyzed over 12,000 confirmed breaches globally, with third-party involvement doubling to 30%. As cities expand digital infrastructure, they expand systemic vulnerability, and the harms are not evenly distributed. Smart city governance shifts power away from citizens toward corporations and opaque systems. Through public-private partnerships, tech companies increasingly influence urban decision-making. As surveillance becomes normalized, expectations of privacy in public spaces decline. A city cannot be considered better if residents sacrifice privacy, autonomy, and democratic control for convenience. Efficiency alone does not equal quality of life.
Another risk of using information technologies in cities is the risk of cyber attacks and the infrastructure vulnerabilities. Since smart cities rely on a single interconnected system serving many sectors, such as traffic monitoring, transit, hospital, and utilities, a single cyber attack can be extremely disruptive to the city. Although no single cyber attack has yet to cripple an entire city, hackers have shown their abilities to disrupt individual aspects of cities. Examples of this include the attacks crippling the Polish transport system and the ransom attacks in Atlanta in 2018. In the end, a city that can be digitally paralyzed is not a better place to live. Job displacement and disruption to the economy is another reason why cities are not becoming better places to live due to information technology. Examples of information technology replacing jobs can be observed in numerous cities across the world. In Vancouver, the autonomous SkyTrain system eliminated the need for a train operator. Additionally, in stores across many cities, cashiers are replaced by self-checkout machines, and customer service agents are being replaced by chatbots. In the end, while it may increase its efficiency, information technology will make cities a worse place to live for workers.
As cities become more dependent on digital systems, not everyone benefits equally. Elderly populations face challenges because many smart city services assume smartphone access and digital literacy. QR codes, mobile apps, and online only services can be difficult or even inaccessible. During COVID 19 in Beijing, health QR codes were required to enter public spaces, creating barriers for older adults without smartphones. This shows how digitization can unintentionally exclude elderly individuals from essential services in daily life. Smart city systems often assume that everyone has stable internet, a smartphone, and digital literacy. However, this isn't true for many low income communities. In places like New York, low income households often lack reliable internet access. As public services such as housing applications and job portals move online, families with unstable connections face greater disadvantages. Instead of increasing opportunity, digital infrastructure can deepen inequality and widen the gap between wealthy and low income neighborhoods. Smart city technologies are not always designed with accessibility in mind. Many city apps are difficult to use for people who are visually impaired, cognitively disabled, or who struggle with complex digital interfaces. As cities shift to app based transportation and digital ticketing, these systems can create new barriers instead of removing them. Rather than empowering vulnerable populations, poorly designed digital infrastructure can exclude people with disabilities from essential services and everyday participation.
We're told cities are becoming better because of information technology. But when we look at people's health, the evidence says otherwise. High levels of screen time are strongly linked to anxiety, depression, sleep problems, and attention issues. A 2025 study of 2,000 teens found that more than half had over 4 hours of screen time daily, where nearly 60% weren't well rested, almost half had irregular sleep patterns, and depression rates were 25.9% among high screen users compared to just 10% among lower users, which is over 100% difference. We've already seen the effects of purely relying on information technology during COVID-19, where everyone in the world was confined to their technology at home. Research reported significant mental health degradation as a result. The World Health Organization reported a 25% increase in global anxiety and depression within only the first year of the pandemic due to isolation. A study done by the National Library of Medicine found that higher screen usage in children aged 2 to 18 were linked to conduct problems, hyperactivity, and depression. It's not only mental health being affected. Prolonged screen exposure causes physical harm as well. A 2025 study of university students found that more than half the participants showed positive correlation between high screen time and musculoskeletal issues and obesity. If information technology were truly making cities better places, we would expect improved well-being. Instead, we see rising mental and physical health struggles directly tied to the very technologies that define modern urban life. These health issues will only worsen as IT grows and more screen usage is required.
Proponents claim smart cities are greener, but the digital facade hides a massive ecological crisis. Information technology is not ethereal. It is a resource-intensive industrial system. The data centers powering these smart urban centers compete directly with citizens for essential water and power. According to a study done by Lee and colleagues, AI infrastructure is on track to withdraw billions of cubic meters of water annually, effectively turning our city's thirst for data into a driver of local drought and environmental decay. This isn't just a resource problem, it is a systemic injustice. A 2024 study reveals that AI load balancing algorithms often shift computational workloads to regions with the cheapest energy, which are frequently the most carbon intensive and water stressed. This creates environmental inequity, where the convenience of a smart city in one region is directly subsidized by the ecological degradation of marginalized, disadvantaged communities elsewhere. A city is not better if its efficiency relies on dumping its environmental debt on the vulnerable. While traditional infrastructure is built to last, the digital sensors required for smart cities create a cycle of forced expensive upgrades and toxic waste. The WHO reports that in 2022, 62 million tons of e-waste were generated, and only 23% of that was properly recycled. The hardware required for smart cities leaches toxic chemicals like lead and mercury into our environment.
Cities used to function through physical systems like tickets, landlines, and in-person services. Nowadays, almost every basic task requires a digital platform. Taking transit, parking, booking appointments, and ordering food. If your phone dies or an app glitches, then life becomes difficult. For example, in China, cash is rarely accepted anymore. Everything depends on WeChat and Alipay. Smart cities promise integration, but most digital systems don't actually work together. Things like transit apps, payments, city services, and social media platforms all operate separately. Users constantly have to switch between interfaces and designs. On top of that, technology pushes constant optimization. Which route is fastest? Which option is cheapest? Which rating is best? Instead of stability, city life becomes a series of micro decisions. That ongoing mental effort increases cognitive load and reduces overall livability. Finally, information technology makes cities less predictable and less physically intuitive. Apps update, interfaces change, QR codes replace signs. Information that used to exist in public space, like maps, menus, schedules, are now locked inside private screens. Digital systems create constant change and hidden complexity. That makes cities harder to navigate.
As evidenced by the issues in privacy and autonomy, cyber attack vulnerability, inequality, ecological debt, mental and physical health, and user experience seen in the worldwide implementation of smart cities, information technologies are not making cities better places to live. While information technology has the potential to improve quality of life, sustainability, and resilience, and address the challenges of rapid urbanization, its many issues must first be addressed for it to have a net positive impact on urban life. Thank you for watching.